shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by Radinio Balker. We'll start with Catherine Hanna from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. How much are you enjoying being back after such a long injury layoff?
A lot. I mean, I've been smiling ever since I've been back. I mean, sometimes you lose a little bit of the joy when you're always playing, and I definitely have that back now. I mean, I've been out for 5-6 months, had some injuries before that as well, so I'm just really happy to be back and just enjoy the game again.
How close do you think you are to being able to start back-to-back games?
Well, I feel like if it was Saturday to Saturday, it would have been no problem. But since it was Saturday to Tuesday, it was a little bit too soon, especially with my injury past. So I feel like that's probably why they also thought maybe it's better to not start, and maybe Saturday I'm available to start again. So I think if it's Saturday to Saturday, I'm already available to do that. But maybe Saturday to Tuesday is like just a build up to that.
And you don't want to push it, do you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've not been on the pitch for a long time, so you know I want to play games, and if we are gonna push it, then yeah, the injury risk is higher. So yeah, that's basically why.
It was an awful injury at an awful time. Did you know straight away that it was going to be serious?
Yeah. I didn't want to believe it, but when it happened, I immediately felt it. I could feel it was a little bit loose down there, so I actually wanted to walk off, but I kind of knew I wasn't able to. So yeah, when it happened, I knew it was a bad one.
With something as serious as that, what's the hardest part about being out for such a long time?
Well, I'm not particularly I look quite big, but I'm not very keen on doing things in the gym. I have to do, it's my job, but that's basically what I was doing. I was in the gym. You're not really doing things you really like to do. Like when you're a football player, you like to play football, and not being in the gym doing heavy weights and everything. And that's what I had to do. So mainly just not being able to do the thing you love the most, and that's playing football. That was the hardest. And besides that, of course, you see your teammates on the pitch, and especially when we had that 7-8 games where we didn't win, that's mainly hard to see that you can help them.
So the mental frustration almost as difficult as the physical rehabilitation?
Yeah. I mean, the mental part is the hardest, I think. Of course, physically, you want to get back to what you were, but over time that will come. The mental part is in that moment you feel very bad, and my girlfriend has seen it a long time. She wasn't really happy with me, but she also knew that was part of the thing as well.
She tell you off for being grumpy?
Yeah, she wanted to do things, and I didn't really want to do things. I was mainly focused on rehabbing, and I couldn't really walk a lot because every time I walked, it started to swell up again. So yeah, it wasn't the best time.
Good to have you back now, though, and good competition for places in the back line as well. What do you think you will bring to the rest of Huddersfield Town's season?
I just hope some comes on the ball, and besides that, just solid defending. I think we can use some quality on the ball as well, so hopefully I can bring that, and just some stability as well.
Involved in the last couple of games, narrow back-to-back defeats. Looking back on those, what's your assessment of the overall performance?
So Bolton game, I think we had a lot of the ball, but we didn't really do much with the ball. I already told many people, I think the quality, we lacked a bit of quality on the ball. And then last Tuesday, it was a little bit of defensively, I think we did pretty well. Of course, they had their moments. It's a good team, but they didn't really create that many chances in my eyes. And on the ball, we just need to be able to create more, to be more secure on the ball. And I think that's something we're really going to work on towards the next games, and hopefully we'll do better.
How do you bring that little bit of quality back? Because you know it's there, so how do you get it out of everybody?
Just it's in small details. I mean, maybe we just need to create more spaces. So maybe in the back line we need to drop more back, or just be more secure, because I feel like you said, we know that we can do it. It's just also, can you wait one more second before you play that pass, because that maybe creates a little bit more space, or can you look up a little bit faster. Those kind of things are very important. And I think, we're not far off of it. And that's what we need to work on.
Do you think sometimes it's almost that everybody's so desperate in a way to succeed, so desperate to make an impact, that it's hard to take that second, as you talk about?
Well, it's difficult to talk for other people, of course, but for me, not really. But in a game, it's always different than when you're on training. Like there's more. Like if you make a mistake in training, it's fine. Like they score, okay, well, it's too bad. Okay, you lose, but you try to do better. But in a game, it's 1-0 down, and you have to score 2 instead of 1. So I feel like in a game, there's more pressure. You have less time sometimes because, there's more pressure. That's it.
Huddersfield Town went through a sticky patch earlier in the season. You'll have been watching from the sidelines and seeing that unfold. Back-to-back defeats. How do you make sure that stops on Saturday and it doesn't become another longer run without a win?
Just doing what we always did. Yes, it's been 2 defeats. I don't think we lost really bad against Bolton. We could have definitely done better, way better, last Tuesday as well, but it was not like we weren't in the game. So it's not like, we are so far off of it. There are also 2 good teams in my eyes. Bolton, of course, is not that high up, but it's a good team. Birmingham was first in the league, so it's not that they were bottom of the league and that we should have battered them. So it's just staying calm, do what we always did, and then everything else will come.
10-point gap to Wycombe in second. There is an awful lot of football still to play, but that's going to be quite a hard gap to bridge, isn't it, to the automatic promotion places?
Yeah, but we always said we just need to look at ourselves. Now we have lost 2 games, so it's just game by game. Let's first win Saturday, and then we'll see at the end of the season if we can come close to the second place again. But it's just mainly focusing on being better on the ball, winning the games, and then we'll see where we end up.
Last one. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that you've just come back from team lunch with the chairman. What's he saying to you at the moment? Because he's a man with very, very high standards and very big ambitions.
Well, not much really. Like everybody is just on the table, and of course he's hoping that we'll do better. Like we have lost the 2 games, but he also just wants us to enjoy playing and let everything come out of us.
He's not putting you under pressure and making demands for top 2 then?
I mean, of course, there's some pressure, as in we all know that we're playing for something. So it's not that we all just, we want to have fun and that's it. But he also knows if he puts too much pressure, some people cannot handle it. Or not handle it is maybe not the right word, but it will be more difficult for players to get the best out of themselves. So it's also just managing how you put the pressure on people.
Thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine. We'll come to Arthur Difford from We Are Terriers next.
Hi, Radinio. You mentioned wanting to bring quality and calmness on the ball. In the past 2 games, we've seen you sort of take the ball out of defence, progress it through the thirds and get Town on the front foot. Is that something that's coming to you from the sidelines, Michael Duff and his coaching staff, or is that something that in the moment you feel like your qualities do that and you can do that for Huddersfield?
No, it's mainly in the moment. I mean, you can never know beforehand what is going to happen. If they really close everything up, then I can't really dribble. So it's just mainly in the moment. What is open, what can I do, and that's what I do.
Fantastic. And you play on the left of a back 3. We've seen you do that coming up against both wingers and strikers with your strength and pace and obviously qualities defensively. How well suited do you think you are to playing on the edges of a back 3?
Well, just as good as like in the middle. It doesn't really matter to me. I think I can do everything as long as I stay fit. I think I have the qualities for it, but it's just staying fit, and that's it.
And we have seen changes to the squad this month, people coming in the door and going out of the door. What are the advantages that you see for this squad now going in towards the second half of the season? What can this squad do?
What can we do? It's a good question. I think we already had everything we needed in my eyes. I mean, of course, I'm pretty good with everybody, and I think we already had the qualities. So it's only good that we have more quality in the squad now, and I'm just curious how everything is coming together when everybody's fit and the players coming back from injury and the players who are new are fitting into the squad, because right now, of course, they are new. They give some new energy, and we just need to get to know each other a little bit better so that we also know what their real qualities are.
And how important is it going into Saturday's game at Northampton Town that you implement your narrative and put your story on the game, making sure that you come out with a result?
I think it's of course, every game is very important, but especially now where we lost 2 games, you don't want to make the narrative that we are in a losing streak. Of course, you want to break that. So that's very important on its own. And of course, we are not really looking at the table right now because, like I said, we were doing game by game. But it's also good if we would win that we're still staying a little bit closer than losing, of course.
That's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arthur. We'll come to Leon Wobshaw from the Yorkshire Post last.
Hi, Radinio. I hope you're well. I was just wondering, it's very tough here in the time you had out, but on some levels you can, you get relationships with people at the club really strong, and you become part of the club in that way, because you probably see a lot of the people every day more than your friends and family, and you get a connection in that way, and you feel. I suppose it makes you feel part of the club at least, even though it's been really hard. You probably made friends for life.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I've torn my ACL before, where I had like a really good connection with my physical therapist back in the Netherlands. And right now, I basically had the same with Seji. So the physio helped me through it a lot. Like, of course, it's mental. He knows that, so he tries to make it as fun as possible. Of course, not only fun but also hard work. But in the meantime, he tries to mentally help you as well. So everybody has been there for me, and all my teammates have always tried to make me part of the team. So that's very, very nice from them.
It's never nice to go through a bad injury. I know you had it at your previous club in Holland. I suppose you had an illness as well, didn't you? You had some tough times. I suppose it makes you a little bit more mentally stronger to perhaps deal with it, even though it's obviously not nice.
Yeah, when it happened, I wasn't really happy, of course, but I kind of knew how to do better than last time, because last time I was very grumpy and it didn't really help myself and also not the people around me in the beginning. And this time I tried to manage that a little bit better. Of course, it's not always possible because you still feel how you feel, but I think my previous experiences definitely helped me through this to do it a little bit better than last time. Hopefully it's the last time as well.
Yeah, for sure. And at least you also knew that you would play some part in the season. With the timing at the start, you knew it would be a long layoff, but your season wasn't over.
No, yeah, true. Of course, you don't want it to happen at all, but that was something I knew that I will still have the full second half of the season where I could at least show myself and help the team. So that was something that I was definitely working towards. Of course, you want to try to be back as fast as possible. I hope to be back sooner than rather than later, but I was very happy that I could help the team now instead of maybe only play 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, and just finally, tell me about your relationship with Michael. I'm old enough to remember when he was a player. He was a very good centre half, and he works very well with central defenders, and he's spoken very well of you and how he's been looking forward to you being back in the squad. Just tell us about your sort of relationship with the boss.
Yeah, so in the beginning of the season, of course, he didn't really see much of me because I was injured after 2 weeks in the preseason. What he told us in the beginning was like, I'm gonna look at everybody, see what everybody's quality is, because of course you hear things, but you can only see things when you're really there in the moment. So that's what he told me, and right before we actually were gonna talk about how everything was going and everything, I broke my ankle, so we didn't really talk. When I came, I think 2 weeks after my surgery, I came up to him and asked him what did he see and what did he think I could improve and stuff like that. And of course, he gives you some tips because it's very nice to have a coach who's always been been at the spot you've been, especially when it's been in the Premier League and a higher league. So it definitely helped me to, already think about things that I could do when I come back. And right now, we're just trying to improve all the things he talked about. So yeah.
Yeah. Best of luck, Radinio, and I hope it goes well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, Leon. Thank you very much. Everybody will be back shortly with head coach Michael Duff.
Thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day. shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be joined by head coach Michael Duff now. We'll start again with Catherine Hannah from BBC Radio Leeds.
Thank you. Afternoon. We have to start with Joe Taylor. What else can you tell us?
Joe's felt something in his hamstring. He's been scanned and he's got something in his hamstring, unfortunately. So it's a bit of a strange one that we don't actually know when he did it, because he didn't come off on Saturday against Bolton complaining over how we took him off for managing and trying to manage his minutes so he doesn't break. Came in Sunday, felt okay, didn't report anything. Then Monday just felt what he described as a cramp sensation, didn't quite feel right, so we x-rayed it as a precaution, and it's popped up with a semi-significant hamstring injury. So it's a strange one. It's you look at Lasse Sorensen when he did a similar type thing. There's a big mechanism. You know, you can visually see. Joe's felt nothing. So yeah, it's a blow. It's disappointing for him, disappointing for us. It's just bad luck strikes again.
Is there anything that could have been done to avoid it?
No, he's only been in the building 10 days. We've managed his load. He hasn't trained every day. He's done less than the others. Like I said, we're really aware of where he'd been physically, so you're always aware of a spike in their load, which is all the GPS. There's been loads of those types of meetings. It's and he's more confused than anyone, because he doesn't know when he's done it. He can't tell you when he did it or how it felt. It just felt a bit odd. He's a strong boy. He's got good power in it, but the scan says there's something in there. So we'll have to deal without him, which, like I said, is a blow for everyone.
How long is he going to be out for?
We think, with the number every scan there's a number and a letter, and I think you're looking at 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's very similar to the Kasumu one, the Lasse Sorensen the second time round one. So yeah, it's a blow.
There've been so many hamstring injuries this season. Do you have any idea why that particular injury seems to be cropping up time and time again?
No, I've got no idea. It's not my area of expertise, so I have my input, I have my thoughts, but you know, this is called sports scientists for a reason. There is a science behind it. The Joe one's a completely different one because he's not been in the building long enough. If some of the others, if there is a pattern in terms of their training load and spikes and all these sorts of things, but he's never had a hamstring before. So you find it hard to believe that he's been in the building 4 or 5 days and we've managed to jinx him that much. But yeah, it is what it is. You just got to get on with it.
It is very unfortunate, and as you say, it's hard to put a finger on why. Is there any chance that it could have happened prior to him signing, and it's maybe something that's gone under the radar when he did his medical here?
No, because his medical would have picked it up. They get MRI scanned and everything, and particularly when there's been an investment made by the football club, it's not a loan that sometimes you obviously don't, but you can rush them through and go, just touch your toes and you'll be all right. There is an investment, so it would have been picked up on his MRI scan during his medical. So it's something that has happened, and that's the weirdness of it. He can't explain when it is. We can't see a mechanism of when he's done it, but something's obviously happened.
Last one on this subject, and then I promise we'll move on to something else. As from a head coach's point of view, how do you feel about this happening now?
Same as everyone else. It's, everyone was really excited to get him in the building. We knew he was going to take a bit of time to get up to speed. The 2 60 minutes that he hadn't been great in terms of his overall performances, but he still scored 1 and 2. So because that's what he is, he's a goal scorer. But we're also aware that he wasn't going to come in and all of a sudden it was like, well, we're going to win 5-0 every week. I think we predicted that before he came in. So it's, I'm the same as everyone else. I'm frustrated as any supporter that ends up hearing this now or reading it. It's, ultimately, we think he's a really good player. That's why we brought him in. We think he can improve the team, but at the minute, you're only a good player when you're fit and available, and he can't help us at the minute. And I feel sorry for him as well. He's been waiting for this move for a long, long time, as have we. So there's been, probably heightened the excitement of him coming, because every party was excited. It wasn't, there's a chance of getting him, we can do it. He'd been prepping for this a lot. He was excited. We'd had communications with him for a long time, and he was desperate to come in. So we've got to just make sure that he's okay as well, because there's a lot of pressure that came in with him, and he's a young kid. But it's not about. I'm the same as everyone else. There's a real sense of frustration.
Moving on to Saturday then, and actually another injury question. How's Tom Lees? Because he looked like he took quite a nasty smash in the face on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tom broke his nose. But they just couldn't stop the bleeding. There was a worry about a concussion, but I don't think there was a concussion. Again, medical side of it. So I think he'll be available. I think he'll have to wear a mask. So I don't know where we're at in terms of that process. Whether he can get that mask done in time for Saturday or not. But yeah, it's occupational hazard. Unfortunately, when you play centre half, you normally get to Leesy's age, and you normally done 2 or 3 of them. So it's not a nice thing, and it's pretty painful. But it's not. He won't be out for 6 weeks with it.
What do you make of Northampton at the moment? Are you a little surprised at their league position, given how well they played when they came to the John Smiths earlier in the season?
You could say that about anyone, because you look at where we just played Blackpool, and we thought they were a good team when we played them here, and they were quite low in the table. Thought they were a good team when we played them a couple of weeks ago, and I think they've won 3 or 4 on the spin since then as well. So they were good on the day. We were poor, but they were good on the day. I don't think I'm being disrespectful. Last year John done a really good job with them, and they're in that sort of bracket where they're looking to stay in the league every year, and they're in that same position this year, just based on size of club, finances and things like that. I've been at a similar sized club, but they have got some good players. People like Tyler Roberts playing for him earlier in the season, I thought he was really good, and everyone know what he did at Leeds and things like that. So I think we need to go, and as always, the new manager come in, they change the shape a little, look like they're trying to be quite aggressive. But we've just had 2 disappointing results, so we need to try and get back on the horse from our point of view, and show a reaction from the last time they played us, because we weren't good enough against them.
Yeah, on that front, when you had that little tricky spell earlier in the season, do you think you may be mentally better equipped now to stop that? Back-to-back defeats is not catastrophic by any stretch of the imagination, but that you're in a better place now to halt that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I don't think we've lost the last 2 games because we've fallen to pieces. I think in that run we fell to pieces from different moments. We found every which way to lose a game, whether it was an own goal, Nisha own goal, whether it was someone getting injured early, whether it was just starting a game really poorly and turning into a team of individuals. We've been beaten in the last 2, but we've not turned into a team of individuals. And I think we know why we've lost the last 2 games. So as before, we didn't know why we were losing, because there was loads and loads of different reasons. We know why we've lost the last 2. There's 3 parts to a game. There's with the ball, without the ball, and transition. And the other night we were really good without the ball. We were good in transition. We weren't good enough with the ball. That was the difference in the game. Ultimately, it was one moment of quality that was the difference, but they probably did shade it. There's no getting away from that, because they're a really good team. But again, we played Birmingham in the middle of that run, and the last half an hour it was men against boys. You watch the last half of the hour and an hour, you look at the subs that they're making, it definitely wasn't men against boys. So mentally we're in a miles better place. It doesn't assume that we'll go and just react better and win on Saturday. But I think as a group and a collective, they are in a miles better place, yeah.
And do they need reminding of? Probably not. The away form has been really, really strong. So few goals conceded, not defeated away from home for a very long time. Are those the points that you have to keep re-emphasising, or you sense from your players they already know that, they don't really need telling? I
don't think they need telling. They know that, the last 2 or 3. The thing that highlights the last 2 home results is the 2 games before, when we've had 55 shots in 2 games and not won the games. You have to win those games. and they get magnified off the back of a worldie and a disappointing one against a good team who just had a spike because they've just lost the manager. Bolton have been in the playoffs the last couple of years, so they're in a difficult moment, but the players haven't become bad players all of a sudden, and they're a new energy. So that's what heightens the sort of the noise almost that were those two results over Christmas. So the players we didn't think they were world beaters. We don't think we're the best. We're clearly not the best team in the league at the minute. So it's focusing on the thing. We need to be better with the ball in every part of the pitch. In the build-out needs to be better. It needs to be quicker. The quality into midfield needs to be better, and then the final ball needs to be better as well. So that's the thing that you take from those two games. Birmingham was 50-50 possession. We had 70% of the ball against Bolton, but it's what you do with it is the most important bit, and that's where, in certain areas, certain people have let themselves down.
Finally then, transfer window still ticking along. Should we expect any business in or out over the next few days?
I don't envisage any business, no. I'd be quite happy if there is no business, to be honest. So yeah, it's not expecting anything now.
Okay, that sounds like possible outgoings. Have you had to fend off any offers?
No.
So
not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Right. Okay. So quite a few days in store then, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you. Good luck on Saturday.
Cheers, Catherine.
Cheers, Catherine. We'll just come to Arthur from We Are Terriers.
Hi, Michael. Are you able to provide an update on David Kasuma and Ben Wild's condition in terms of availability for Saturday's match?
Kasuma won't be available. He's not training yet. He's close. He's on the grass, but he's not available for selection. Wilesy should be fine. Wilesy had like I said, it was a bit of a. He couldn't get his boots on through swelling on Tuesday, Monday afternoon, Tuesday. So he'll be fine now. He'll just put a bit of padding on it, which happens a lot with toes and kicks and ankles and things like that. So Wilesy will be fine, yeah.
Disappointing news for Joe Taylor, obviously for him and the club, but it's important to remember that there are other strikers at the club. How confident are you that the options that you've got can do the job?
Well, I think the thing with Joe is, the club invested because he's a young player, so that it is an investment. You're hoping to get a return on it, but as always with every injury, it could provide somebody else with an opportunity. So the thing is, we've up until the last two home, I'm not quite sure where we would be now, but we were top of the XG league in terms of chances created. We were top of the most chances created in the league. We were top of the most big chances created in the league, but we were also top of the most big chances missed in the league as well, which is why we brought Joe in. But in the last couple of games, we've not created enough. So that's not just down to the centre forwards, but we need to get back to being a bit more creative, and then it's an opportunity for someone else to stake a claim. That's why you have a squad. Callum Marshall found himself out of the team through no fault of his own. He got an opportunity the other night. He might get another one. Someone else might get another one. We've got enough centre forwards in the building. Playing a centre forward isn't a problem. It's making sure they're the right ones.
Yeah. And Ruben Roskin made his first start for the club on Tuesday night. How well do you think he came into the team and performed?
Thought he was good. Thought he was excellent. My frustration at the minute is that you're having to make subs all the time based on conditioning, not based on performances, not based on tactical situations. That's where we're at in terms of managing the group, which is a frustration from my point of view, because you want your best players available all the time. We've had a lot of injuries this season, as we just talked about. So, again, I probably said the word frustration about 8-9 times already in the interview, because it's. I took Ruben off because he had to come off because he was cramping up. I'd have kept him on the pitch because his performance was good, but you've got to keep him fit. His performance would have deteriorated if he can't run. Well, you can see what he is. He gives us natural balance on that side of the pitch. He can definitely run. He's quick, and he can cross the ball. So I thought he was good in particular.
Moving on to Saturday, it's Kevin Nolan opposite you in the dugout for Northampton Town. It's 10 years since you last came across him playing on the field. How do you expect his game on the field to translate into what his side can bring on Saturday?
Well, as a player, he was competitive. He was a good player. He was definitely a better player than me. Hopefully, that's not quite as big a gulf when it comes to being in the dugout side of it. You expect his team. He's obviously worked at a high level. He's played at a high level, but worked at a high level, and he's prepared to get his hands dirty. Sometimes players that have played at that level he's coached at Premier League level for a long time, and then aren't prepared to get their hands dirty because he's obviously is prepared to do that. You look at his teams look like they're organised, they look like they're having a go. So we're not done. I've got to go back now and do quite a bit more work on them this afternoon. So we're you say it every week because it's true, you're expecting a tough game, and it's up to us to be better in possession. The out of possession stuff doesn't worry me too much because we've been pretty consistent at that, other than half against Blackpool. The shape of the team, the energy of the team, the organisation, the attitude has been really good. It's just been that in possession stuff, but we've got to make sure it is just that we improve. It's not, can't focus just on that, and all the other bit falls to pieces as well. So we're expecting a tough game, and hopefully we can deliver 3 points.
Yeah, obviously when Northampton Town came to the John Smith Stadium early in the season, they left with 3 points. You're going there this time to try and bring 3 points back to Huddersfield. Is it more a case of showing what you can do in terms of going into the game, or is it what they can do? Are you looking at them, preparing for them, or is it getting Huddersfield performing on the pitch?
I think there's always a balance between the two. I don't think I've always been one that I think you've got to respect the opposition, and I don't think you can just go, well, we're Huddersfield, we're just going to do that without even looking at the opposition. I know some managers do that, but it's also not just trying to stop them and just trying to a balance of the two. It's knowing their strengths, finding their weaknesses, and then executing the game plan better. Again, like you talk about the word frustration, the things that let us down the other day, it's not that we haven't worked on those things. That's what I said, it's just certain players not delivering what was asked of them at certain points. And that's what we've gone through with the analysis. I know it's no finger pointing, it's whoever's in that position, we expect you to drop out into that position, we expect to have those two passes available there. And then once you get in the top third of the pitch, there's a total freedom. That's where you want your creative players to come alive. There's certain things that are coachable and certain things that aren't. You can't do every facet of the game. So we need to prepare properly, be ready mentally, physically, and tactically to win a game.
Great. Good luck on Saturday. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Arthur. We'll just come to Leon Robshaw from the Yorkshire Post last.
Hi, Michael. I hope you're well. I was just sort of wondering if there's any group of players that can cope with this sort of thing. Obviously it's very disappointing for Joe. It's probably your lot, isn't it, really? Because they've had a hell of a lot to contend with, whether it's just different sorts of injuries for lengths of time, and I suppose they've shown in that regard they can cope. It's not like you've just been going along swimmingly and everything's been sort of fine. There has been these sort of disruptions, hasn't there?
Yeah, I think it's been a difficult year. It's been a lot of change, going back right back to the very start. Lots of change, lots of it's and the players have had to learn a different way of playing. The players have had to learn, try and change their mentality. And that's not always easy. You look at the Birmingham City one is an obvious one. You speak to the manager afterwards. They got relegated and they cleared the decks. They got rid of 18 players, just completely got rid of anyone associated with the relegation left. We've not had that, and I'm not saying that's what we want to do. A lot of the group is the same, and trying to change that mentality, trying to deal with that adversity and change negativity into positivity. They've had to come through a lot. So hopefully, with where they've gone on the journey that they've come on, and they've been through, you're hoping a couple of punches on the nose, as disappointing as it is, they don't fall back into a team of individuals, because they've seen when they actually stick together and gel together and face the same direction, that they can be a half a decent team. So that's one thing that I haven't questioned in the two games. The referee puts 10 minutes up against Birmingham, and we're going hell for leather. We're not just trying to survive. Again, speaking to their staff, they're saying that's the first time that any team's done that to them this season. In the last half an hour, last 35 minutes, they're just putting defender after defender on, which shows a positive reaction. Yes, we know we were getting beat, and we know we can be better. So it's not me trying to mask over things, saying that we're, I thought we were outstanding and we totally deserved to win the game. That's not what I'm saying. I thought it was a really tight game. I thought it was two good teams evening each other out, and it was a moment of quality that ended up us losing the game, but not because we were completely outclassed from minute 1 to minute 100.
It's probably a fair. I'm looking forward a little bit. I think it's a fair thing to say that certainly a couple of the teams who end up getting promoted, it'll probably be because they've shown a bit of a strong jaw, really. Because you look at the teams at the top, probably apart from Birmingham, they've all had some sort of some issues somewhere, haven't they? You know, there's like Wrexham's away form, Barnsley been up and down. There's been various others too. Wickham have lost a manager. You've had a lot of injuries all over the place. You know, that mentality is going to be huge, isn't it?
You don't get promoted at any level without a strong mentality. So you can have the best players in the world, but they've not got a common goal, a togetherness, a strong mentality. It doesn't work. No matter how good the players are. That's why. You know, you look at Chris when I'm talking about last week, and Birmingham have got the best players in the league. They're the best team I've seen at this level, but they're all facing the same direction as well, which is what you need. So any team that's going to get out of this league, not out of this league, out of any league, needs a strong mentality. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck as well, but we're not looking at anyone else, and we're not relying on luck either. We're not having a lot of luck at the minute, but just keep working, get your head down, try and improve on the things that we have exposed in the last couple of games, and be better. That's all we can try and do.
You're speaking about obviously having to sort of substitute players. You know, with sort of game time, this and that. Supposedly Radinio, I suppose the schedule, looking at it now, that should hopefully, touch wood, you know, help him. You know, the Saturday to Saturday sort of format with a bit of luck.
Yeah, I'm not sure which bit of wood to touch, because I've probably touched every bit of wood in the building. It hasn't worked so far. Again, I'd like to have played Rads on Tuesday night. And again, when I talk about the word frustration, so you can't pick your best team. You're having to take players off when you don't want to take players off. So there's not a lot I can do about that. That's just where we're at the minute. But hopefully Rads is fit enough to start Saturday. Hopefully you can get 90 minutes in, and then it is Saturday, up until the Shrewsbury game, I think it is. So, like you said, touch wood, he's all right. He gets through it, because everyone knows he's a good player. But Joe Taylor's a good player. You're only good player if you're available to play. And players always get injured. I get that, but it's just the numbers have been astronomical this year, to be honest. And it's finding a way.
I was just going to ask you finally about Hoggy. I don't know if my maths is wrong. I worked out. I think he played the full game on Tuesday night. The first time in the league he'd done that since, I think it was like mid-September. I had a little look earlier. It shows that he's still got a big role to play for the rest of the season. You know, you see about mentality and things like that. You know, he's going to be important for you.
He's had a big role to play all season, whether he's been on the pitch or not. The personality he has, the weight that he carries in the dressing room. Supporters won't see. I'm sure they don't need to tell me, because they'll know all about his character and things. But you know, we went 4 months unbeaten. He never got a kick during it. He was brilliant, because he's not daft. He saw the midfield that were. He was injured during some of it as well, so he was unavailable. But he sees that there was a real cohesiveness between them. But he's come in. He's showed he's still got a hunger. He's still got a fire. Again, would you have wanted to keep him on for 90 minutes with the risk? But one thing, you didn't have a choice. You can't change them all. I thought he was good in his performance as well. Hoggy did everything you expect of Hoggy. He rashed people. He organised. He got in people's faces. So I thought he was. I thought he was one of the better performers on the night, to be honest.
Yeah. Best of luck on Saturday, Michael.
Cheers, Lil.
Keep your wood.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers. Thank you.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract various digital threats. To improve your protection against them, just turn on NordVPN. This cybersecurity app will block web trackers and malware-infected sites. It will also encrypt your internet traffic without losing a smooth connection. Get NordVPN now. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.